Part 38. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Ixie. Chapter 371. Chapter 371 Cinnabar Mole. Nangong Luo didn't remember much, so he sent a message to Yezikin at that time. Didn't Li Moer's grandma pass away? Why did she appear as Grandma Chiao again? It's not that they pay more attention to Li Moer, it's just that people always have some curiosity. Since things happen around them, they can't help but want to find out the answer. Unfortunately, Yezikin's reply was, he is just a partner who has a good relationship with the Ye family. Nangong Luo told Ye Weiwei and Gongqin Li this explanation. When he found out that Mrs. Jiao's granddaughter was Li Moer, Ye Weiwei's heart froze. Even though we now know that they are not biological, Mrs. Jiao has such a good relationship with Li Moer that she regards her as her granddaughter. She felt that she would never be able to laugh like before when she saw Grandma Chiao again. It doesn't matter, it has nothing to do with us anyway. Maybe some people just have a deep connection. The three of them took a lot of photos during their travel around the city in the past few days. Ye Weiwei picked one and posted it to the space. The combination of handsome men and beautiful women was eye-catching, but she quickly deleted the photos. How could she forget that the Nangong family and the Gong family have such prominent family backgrounds, and if they were accidentally taken out of the photo, she would not be able to live in peace. However, although Ye Weiwei deleted it quickly, Meng Ziyi clicked in at the moment when it was not deleted and saw Gongqin Li. Gongqin Li has changed and become more beautiful. Meng Ziyi's stagnant soul rippled again. 2 years later, he thought it was just a boy's dream, but when he got close to that person again, he couldn't help but like him. What you can't get is the best. This is true. Maybe Meng Ziyi has this kind of mentality towards Gongqin Li. Menz looked at Ye Weiwei's recent landscape photos and heard that they were going to a certain park tomorrow. He got up early in the morning to pack himself and prepare to go out. At this time, Shen Nianan was invited to the home by Meng's grandma again. Meng's grandma originally asked Meng Ziyi to greet her, but Meng Ziyi went out without even saying hello. Meng Ziyi said that he had made an appointment with a friend and wanted to go out. Grandma Meng thought about it and suggested, which friend have you made an appointment with? Why don't you take Nianan with you? You two children know how to read all day long, so you should go out and relax. Menz refused. But Grandma Meng insisted. Unable to bear to reject Grandma's expectations, Meng Ziyi agreed to take Shen Nianan out. Shen Nianan felt very happy when she heard him relent. But unexpectedly, not long after they walked out, Meng Ziyi would part ways with her. I still have something to do, you can go and play by yourself. Don't you also want to play with your friends? Leave me alone. Meng Ziyi found a car and directly reported the name of the park. Shen Nianan thought he was strange, and somehow he summoned a car to follow him. Meng Ziyi didn't notice that he was being followed by Shen Nianan. After arriving at the park, Meng Ziyi began to search for attractions here. If they come to play at night, they will definitely visit these scenic spots. Meng Ziyi didn't know what his mentality was now, maybe he just wanted to try his luck. But he was lucky, and he actually met Gongqin Li and others. There is a wishing fountain in the park, which is simply a gathering place for girls' hearts. A coin is not much, and everyone thinks it is interesting to throw it in to make a wish, so people come to the wishing pool one after another. Ye Weiwei liked this and pulled Gongqin Li to make a wish. To exchange coins, but there is only one left. If you want to make a wish, please wait, the coins will be ready soon. Gongqin Li gave Ye Weiwei the coin. Meng Ziyi held the coin in his hand and stepped forward. Let me tell you about the ignorant feelings of youth. It is estimated that I will enter college in 1 or 2 chapters. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Ixie. Chapter 372. Chapter 372 by Yue Guang. In the crowd, Meng Ziyi walked up to Gong Qinli. When her hands were empty, he spread his hands with a coin lying in them. Here you go. Meng Ziyi didn't change much, and Gong Qinli recognized him at a glance. Meng Ziyi pushed up his glasses, feeling a little happy. Thank you for remembering me. Gong Qinli has a cheerful personality, and the two brothers patted Meng Ziyi on the shoulders. What a coincidence. You come here to play too, and you even buy coins to make a wish, ha ha ha. Originally, Ye only came to the wishing pool, a place full of girlish hearts, because she liked it. She didn't think it mattered. When she saw a man wanting to make a wish, she couldn't help but be happy. Meng Ziyi explained, I happened to pass by and saw you, so I happened to have a coin to contribute to you. It means we are destined. Gong Qinli spoke directly, without any special meaning. Meng Ziyi listened, but his ears secretly turned red. At this time, Nangong Luo couldn't stand it any longer, and inserted himself mysteriously between the two of them to separate them. Brother, please stay away from my girlfriend. As soon as Meng Ziyi heard this, he was stunned and didn't know how to react. You, boyfriend. Gong Qinli blinked, then laughed. Oh, no. She explained casually, it's just a joke. Then she introduced to Nangong Luo that this was her classmate in elementary school. Nangong Luo cursed Meng Ziyi all over his heart, and his classmates in elementary school still remembered it so clearly. Although Gong Qinli and the others could not exclude Meng Ziyi, their topics were always different. At first, Meng Ziyi would find some topics that everyone could talk about, but when he saw the tacit understanding between the three of them, Meng Ziyi knew the reality clearly. This day's trip to the park, they had fun at night. Meng Ziyi felt that he was one-sidedly broken in love now, because he realized that he and Gong Qinli were from two different worlds and could not be together. Meng Ziyi suppressed the feelings in his heart bit by bit, to the bottom of his heart. On the way back, they parted ways. It was getting late. Meng Ziyi was walking on the road he must pass on his way home, but he found that the street lights on that section of the road had been turned off at some point. Men's has a mild phobia of complete darkness, which few people know. He tried hard to take a step forward, but he didn't dare to go any further. There is probably a power outage in this area, and the whole street is dark. Meng Ziyi wants to call his family. Suddenly I heard footsteps coming from behind. The dark night is the most likely to bring fear to people, even if Meng Ziyi is a man. Just as he was clenching his fists to be on guard, a familiar female voice came into his ears. Azaa. He heard that voice from many people, and even if he couldn't see the appearance clearly, he knew it was Shen Nianan. How will you be here? Something important was left at your house, and I just thought of going back to get it now. You're going to our house, now? Yeah, let's go together. In fact, she followed Meng Ziyi for a whole day today and saw his joy when he saw Gong Qinli, and his final despair. She did not reveal it. She also knew that Meng Ziyi was afraid of the dark, so she told a white lie. Shen Nianan stretched out his hand towards Meng Ziyi. I'm sorry, I'm a little afraid of the dark. Can you give me a little tug? Are you afraid of the dark? Why didn't I know? In Meng Ziyi's impression, he was the one who was afraid of the dark. But Shen Nianan said, people will always change. We go home. Shen Nianan is also a very gentle person. Do you hope they will develop in the future? End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 373. Chapter 373 University, School Starts, Qiaolian Little Fairy is officially online. September, School starts. The new semester has arrived, and the major clubs and departments of the university have made arrangements to welcome the new semester. The student union of the Department of Finance is particularly lively right now. I want to meet those two provincial champions in City S who both rejected our school's recommendation but applied for our school at the same time and got the same score. Suche picked up a piece of paper and threw it over. Why are you talking so many tongue twisters? Senior Su, the school has spread the news about the two of them, aren't you curious? You must know how developed the internet is now. As soon as the news about the two provincial champions in City S was reported, and someone posted it on the forum of the School of Finance, 9 out of 10 people in the school would know about it. Welcoming the newcomers, they all look forward to seeing the two people's true faces in Lushan. Suche was actually on the same page as them. That's right when you think about it. I watched the video before, but the two provincial top picks didn't show up very much, and the photos were blurry. I'm really curious and hope to see a beautiful schoolgirl. The sophomore student asked, what about the handsome junior student? If he is handsome, I suggest him to go to the school next door, Suche said seriously, and suddenly sighed again and again. Oh, damn, the juniors who come every year are not as ugly as the previous ones, and all the juniors are so ugly. Pow left. It's a pity that I am about to leave school in my senior year and I haven't been able to hold the beauty back. Sophomore student, senior, why don't you just say that each year you are more handsome than the last? Suche waved his hand. Don't mention that word to me. If you mention that word, I want to hit someone. Sophomore student, senior, my mother said that if you want to fall in love, you should find someone from the university. Suche's mouth twitched. Why? Sophomore student, because you are too young before junior high school. Junior high school delays your studies, high school affects your life. Those in college have not yet entered the society. Maybe they can find a pure love. Come on, get up, change your clothes and go out to welcome the new year. Finance schools are of course not all finance majors, they just focus on finance. The Department of Finance's full set of welcome services is the best, because they have welcome clothes. It is clearly printed with the 3 eye-catching characters of the finance department. Some people don't like welcoming new students because they find it tiring, while some people like welcoming new students because it is the best and fastest opportunity for them to hook up with their junior students. If you like her, you can go to the school gate, sign up, find a dormitory, buy things, join a club, and provide one-stop service to get the girl. Of course, the premise is you have to have good looks. The juniors all refuted Suche. Most seniors now have gone out for internships, but Suche started a business with Yezikin and others, which is different from other students' arrangements. There are very few seniors who stay in school, and Suche happens to be one of them. The reason why Suche is so arrogant is because my immediate boss is the treasurer of the system. Junior school girl, is that the big guy you're talking about? Suche nodded. Yes, that's the big guy. That boss is indeed a boss, I admire him very much. Suche summoned a fan out of nowhere and pretended to fan it. Of course, the boss must admire you, otherwise how can you be called a boss? The sophomore student saw that Suche was sweating, so he diligently placed a bottle of mineral water on the table and said, Senior, please drink some water. At this time, a clear and delicate voice sounded in my ears, which big boss are you talking about? That's the big guy, poof. Suche turned around and sprayed a mouthful of water onto the fan. Guess, who is coming? Knock on the blackboard, don't forget the activities in the book review area. Physical gifts will be given to the top 3 in the weekly list, red envelopes will be given to the top 10 in the overall list, and 999 book coins will be given out on the 666th floor of the reward building. I hope the Kaibao people will try their best to use book coins to subscribe and support the first order. Kaibao people who are capable, hope that they can all order this book. The first order is very important for Chinese Valentine's Day and the performance of the book. I would like to express my 120,000 thanks. Currently giving back benefits to readers. Please see the pinned post in the book review area for details. Readership, 145016019, you can add it if you have fans or not. If the fan value exceeds 2,000 disciples and above, you can privately manage the 3.5-year-old to enter the VIP welfare group. Benefits will be distributed regularly every month, and events will be held from time to time in a small theater. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke. Chapter 374. Chapter 374. Does the little fairy know the provincial champion? You. Suche pointed his fan at the girl who looked like a little fairy, stuttering in shock. Me. A sweet smile instantly bloomed on the little fairy's delicate face. Yes, me. The bystanders were stunned. Let's not talk about how exquisite her appearance is, just look at her figure. Wearing a light green matcha dress, a thin tassel chain hangs tightly from the waist, the ribbons on the long trumpet sleeves are tied into bows, and the layers of ruffle leaves at the corners of the skirt make it even more light. The long, slender, snow-white legs are exposed on the surface. It's really cough. In short, the overall feeling is that it is cute yet delicate, gentle, and the fresh matcha color makes people feel comfortable. The sophomore student scratched his head. Senior Suche, do you know him? Suche was about to say, this thing belongs to the big boss. At this time, Ye Wei took a step back and handed over his admission notice. Hello, seniors and seniors, I am a freshman who has just entered the school. How do I sign up now? The junior senior couldn't hold back his eager thoughts and stood up. He walked around the table and ran to the front of Ye Wei. He was courteous and said, Little fairy, I didn't tell you. Elementary school girl, you want to sign up, right? Senior will take you go and sign up for the one-stop service of finding a dormitory, moving things, shopping, and visiting the campus. Ah, don't go to such trouble. No trouble, no trouble. What do we in the Department of Finance do best? Of course, we are willing to help others, the junior senior said as he put his hand on Yes' only purple suitcase. If the schoolgirl lets go, it will be equivalent to agreeing to a one-stop service by default. Accompanying the fairy schoolgirls on campus is so beautiful. But no, I only have a light suitcase, thank you, senior. For your kindness, please tell me how to register. Hello, the little fairy has rejected your request. The junior is heartbroken. By the way, Senior Suche, why did you say that a junior girl is a boss? Do you know each other? Suche shook his fan again and said, this thing belongs to the big boss. Ye Wei smiled and interrupted his words again. He moved his high-heeled sandals a little to step on Suche's toes. I don't know her, but she seems to be a very kind-hearted senior. Suche's eyes dropped. There were no marks on his shoes, but he was sure he had been stepped on. He must have been threatened just now. Suche quietly glanced to the side, shook his fan helplessly and sighed, oh. The boss's sister, she looked like a young girl 2 years ago, but in the blink of an eye, she has truly transformed into a woman, becoming more and more beautiful. Sister, there are so many people signing up right now, just sit here for a while and we'll look for your class. Okay, thank you, senior sister. It was hot in September, and there was a fan blowing here. There was no reason for her to bask in the sun, she could sign up for both days anyway, so she was not in a hurry. Senior sister, what's your name and where are you from? My name is Chiao Li, nice to meet you, I'm from S City. The sophomore student held his chin and said, I seem to have heard this name somewhere. Suche suddenly knocked on the table. Hey, I remembered it. My schoolmate, you are also from S City. Do you know that there are 2 provincial champions there? Provincial champion, Ye Wei chuckled, I know. I know it too. Beside him, a magnetic male voice suddenly came. Who is coming? End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lou Kixie. Chapter 375. Chapter 375, Encountering a Confession. Suddenly a pleasant male voice came out, and everyone looked over. Chiao Li, long time no see. That person took the lead and called out the name of the freshman girl. This tone is even more familiar. I saw an extraordinary and handsome boy standing there holding a black suitcase in his hand. His refreshing white sportswear highlighted his tall figure. Suche's heart, damn it, why does this man look like this? The senior student in the junior year silently covered his face, finally meeting a little fairy schoolgirl, and then there was another junior student who not only knew the little fairy, but also looked so handsome. The way of heaven is unfair. Do you know each other? Yes, we are high school classmates, Suyuchin explained methodically. Hello, I'm a freshman. Suyuchin handed over his admission notice and placed it on the table next to Yes Only Copy. The senior sister in charge of arranging the class found names for them and sighed, oh my god, the looks of each of today's freshmen are incredible. So, you two are from S City, and you both know the two provincial champions. Ye Wei and Suyuchin said in unison. Suche hurriedly approached and asked, have you seen it? What does it look like? Ye Wei touched his chin and smiled with his eyebrows creasing, it's pretty good looking. Suyuchin's eyes kept falling on her face intentionally or unintentionally, and he agreed with her words, yes, she looks very good. The more delicate senior sister glanced at Suyuchin from the left and Ye Wei from the right. The pen in her hand wavered in the air and said, why do I think there is something fishy about you two freshmen? They are about the same age, so they don't have to worry too much about what they say. Suyuchin was silent. Ye Wei sighed silently and didn't want to mention it more. Suche put the water aside and said lazily, sister, I'm bored, I'll take you to sign up. In that case. Ye Wei seemed to hesitate for a moment, but still nodded in agreement, then thank you, senior. Suyuchin stared, thinking that Suche wanted to hook up with Ye Wei, but this girl agreed. The sophomore student poked Suche, senior, could you please take this junior student with you? You didn't know that boys and girls signed up separately, so you have to bring them with you because dormitories will be divided directly during registration. Boys and girls signed up separately. Suche led Ye Wei away. The sophomore junior student expressed his friendliness to Suyuchin, junior student, don't mind, we will take you there later. That's right, senior Suche, he rejects all boys who are better looking than him, so he may feel a little inferior to you when he sees you. According to Suche's original words, I'm not good looking enough, and I feel heartbroken when I see someone who is handsomer than me. After Suche led Ye Wei out for a certain distance, the fan that was waving to fan himself immediately changed its direction. While fanning Ye Wei, he asked, Sister Chiao, are you really a new student in our school? Is the notice just now fake? That's not what I meant, I just found it surprising. Senior Suche, do you know where my brother is now? Of course, let's go, I'll take you there. Suche patted his chest and took Ye Wei to the student union's territory. Downstairs, just as they were about to walk in, they bumped into a girl standing at the door holding a pink letter to confess her love. She said, Senior Ye, please accept mine. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lou Kixie. Chapter 376. Chapter 376 Roommate, the cold and soft girl, the fairy fat house. Suche took a look and saw that a girl was confessing her love to Yezukin. He was embarrassed. Sister Chiao, I really don't know him. Let's go there. Ye Wei's smile contained a hint of meaning, but just as she sped up and stepped forward, Su Tangzi appeared next to Yezikin. I don't know what I said, but the girl who expressed her love gave up and ran away shouting, I wish you happiness. Happiness. Happy as hell. Ye Wei suddenly stopped and asked Suche, he has always been so popular in school, right? Suche shook his head repeatedly, girls nowadays are too fierce. There's nothing we can do about it. Brother Chen rarely shows up in school now, so you have to seize the opportunity. Just because Yezikin comes and goes in a hurry, Shenlong never sees the end, and confessions of love happen on any occasion. However, Suche also said, but Brother Chen never agreed. You said that he has the ability, family background, and good looks. Why not find a beautiful woman to accompany him? Yezi, I made an insinuation, isn't Su Tangzi who is standing next to him right now by his side? Suche shook his head, that's different. I've always thought that these two are a good match, but they haven't been together for 4 years, so it definitely won't work out. Yezi Wei nodded undeniably and asked Suche, then do you think someone like me is a good match for Yezikin? Suche looked at her and said, in terms of looks, he is a handsome man and a beautiful girl, he is a match. He is smart, and he was admitted to the same school, he is a match. In terms of figure, he has the cutest height difference, he is a match. Since you think it's a good match, then I'll confess to him. Do you think he will agree? Ification. Suche couldn't help laughing at that time. Ye Wei glared at him, Senior Suche, what's your reaction? Suche laughed loudly, you are his sister, can your confession be the same as others' confession? Senior Suche, I won't you anymore, you will know one day, now let's go back and register. Aren't you going to say hello to Brother Chen? Oh, I have a beautiful woman to keep me company, so I may not be needed. She is no longer the little girl with low self-esteem. As for Su Tangzi, she was very concerned about it at first, but now, she does not think Su Tangzi is her strong enemy. As Suche said, if we haven't been together for 4 years or more, then what is there to worry about? Ye Wei went back to register, and Suche helped him through the back door. She quickly packed up her things and moved into the dormitory. 2 of her roommates had already arrived. One with heavy makeup, neat short hair, dressed maturely, named Leng Rugjio, looks like a royal sister. A girl with warm-colored cute makeup and medium-long chestnut hair tied with a pink ribbon is called Xiaoziun. She has a sweet voice and a baby voice. As for her, ladylike. Yahweh has a rough idea of how he looks in the eyes of others. After all, those little fairy calls are not for nothing. Everyone is packing their things. There are only a few things in the night, so they will be packed quickly. At this time, a fat girl bumped into the room. She was dragging 2 suitcases and carrying a heavy school bag. She asked in a friendly manner, well, can you help me? Leng Rugjio was on the phone, focusing on the phone. Xiaoziun seems to be live broadcasting something about the first day of school. Yi was the only one. She walked over, stretched out her hand and moved the things next to the door, I'll help you. Here, let me show you my college roommate. Xiaoziun's live broadcast camera just moved around, showing a close-up of the sweaty face of the fat girl, and a line of ridicule arose in the comments. Leng Rugjio and Xiaoziun, these are the names you left in the guest house, claim them. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 377. Chapter 377. The fat girl was laughed at. The tablet Xiaoziun used had a large screen, and Ye Wei could clearly see the rapid-fire mocking words. She directly stretched out her hand to block the camera, classmate, please don't expose us. Her voice was sweet, but the audience mistakenly thought she was the fat man just now, and the comments were sour that they had nothing to say. Xiaoziun snorted and returned to his original position and continued the live broadcast. The fat girl was very moved, thank you, classmate, My name is Luo Yuxi, what is your name? My name is Chiao Li, nice to meet you. Ye Wei returned to his desk and opened the game out of boredom. Occasionally she would glance around and see Luo Yuxi on the opposite bed taking out all the contents of her suitcase. Classic Hanfu, sweet Lolita, and some more exaggerated COS clothes. Ye Wei was slightly surprised. It seemed that Luo Yuxi was a two-dimensional girl. She was playing the game intensely when an unknown phone call came and she hung up immediately. But the call came back a minute later. Ye Wei took a closer look and it was still in City G. He hesitated and answered it. Is this classmate Chiao Li? Yes. I am your class teacher, Teacher Lin. As soon as the other person revealed his identity, Ye Wei was stunned on the spot. Teacher Lin? Excuse me, what's the matter? Teacher Lin, the head teacher, asked. I looked at the registration form and I know that you are already at school. Are you free now? There are some. The teacher is looking for me, how can I be unavailable? Even if you don't have time, you have to have time. If you have time, come to the grade office, I'll talk to you in detail about some things. Ye Wei made a phone call and saw that the game was over. She was reported for betraying her teammates. She was sad. But when she stood up, her roommate stared at her strangely. Ye Wei left the dormitory and walked around looking at the map for a long time before finally arriving at the office. There were several people in the office, but Ye Wei knocked on the door and went in. He didn't even know who his head teacher was. Hello, teacher, I'm Chiao Li, may I ask? Chiao Li, this way, this way. The female teacher wearing glasses on the right was talking to her. Ye Wei walked over and called out teacher again. Teacher Lin looked at her with a smile on his face. Okay, you are the provincial champion from S City, not bad. The teacher has given me a reward. I just saw the roster of registered students, so I called you. The main reason is to say, forget it, let's talk about it together when another classmate comes. Okay. Ye Wei nodded and stood aside, but he was wondering, who else? Soon, Su Yuchen's appearance told her the answer. Teacher Lin was so happy that even the teacher next to him said, Teacher Lin, you are so lucky. You have been awarded the top prize in 2 provinces, and both of them are so good looking. Teacher Lin smiled from ear to ear. These points are randomly selected by the system. Teacher Lin is lucky. 2 legends in the school are in her class this year. That's right, I came to you just to talk about this freshman conference. Although you 2 are freshmen, you are very popular in our school now. I hope you can give a speech at the freshman welcome meeting as freshman representatives. I felt uncomfortable because giving a speech meant writing a speech. Moreover, we also have a senior from the department who will welcome you on behalf of all the teachers and students. You are very lucky. The senior did not agree to give a speech for 3 years, but this year, look, he is here. Ye Wei and Su Yuchen turned back at the same time. I ask again, who is coming? End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 378. Chapter 378. Staying up all night. Suche waved to them mischievously. Hello, juniors and juniors, we meet again. Suche, stand aside and don't stand behind me. Teacher Lin waved his hand to express his disdain. Suche shook his head and lamented that the world was declining. He moved to the side, and the rightful owner walked in behind him. When she saw that man, Ye Wei's eyes lit up. Elder brother. But she couldn't recognize him at this time. Let me introduce, this is. Since they are all outstanding elites, the head teacher is naturally very happy with them. As for Ye Wei's introduction, she can no longer hear it. Anyway, after seeing Yezikin, the smile on her face has never left her face. At the end, I only heard Su Yuchen and Yezikin agree to the teacher at the same time, and Ye Wei also agreed. Okay, you young people can exchange experiences more, and I'll leave it to you to hold the opening ceremony the day after tomorrow. Let these three legends from the School of Finance take the stage together, and you can imagine how exciting the scene was that day. The four of them went out together. Yezikin was walking in the front and suddenly stopped. Yewei, who had been following him blankly, didn't stop and bumped into his back. He said ouch and covered his forehead because it hurt. Idiot, watch the road. Yezikin squeezed her arm naturally. Fortunately, school was not starting yet and no one came to the office. Suyuchin looked at the actions of the two people from behind and was so angry that he couldn't even open his eyebrows. However, he will not admit defeat. Yewei never went back after leaving the dormitory, because she went to Yezikin's house. But Yezikin didn't look very happy. Why don't you call me when you're here? Yewei looked innocent. You are a busy man, I have to be good and be self-reliant. Yezikin sneered, obviously not believing it. I've never seen you so sensible before. Yewei stretched out her hands and threw her arms around his neck. Nonsense. I have always been a considerate little cutie. Seeing that he didn't believe it, Yewei held his hand with both hands and rubbed his chin to express intimacy. Brother originally planned to come over to find you tonight. Oh, and then I met Suyuchin, so I forgot about it, right? Hearing someone's sour tone, Yewei suddenly realized, brother, are you jealous? No, Tsundere would not admit it. But this did not prevent Yewei from covering his mouth and snickering. No snickering. No, brother, she put her hands behind her back, looking very well behaved. Of course Zi doesn't have to go back to her dormitory tonight, and she also has to stay up late to write a speech. Even though Yewei is a top student, she doesn't like to write such complicated things, so she can't help but complain to Yezikin, it's so unlucky I'm so tired after first place, and my head is getting big. Humph, who told you to rely on provincial champion? Provincial champion is right, but being the same as Suyuchin is annoying. Yewei stuck out her tongue and made a face at him, then stuck her head out to peek at Yezikin's manuscript. Empty. Brother, why haven't you written yet? I'm not an idiot, I just improvise. Yewei blinked and immediately behaved, brother, you are so awesome, can you write one for me? Not good. Being rejected, Yewei kept writing with her mouth flat, but she fell asleep as she wrote, and then she became drowsy. All the words written in the notebook became, Yezikin, Yezikin, like. I don't know how long it took, but the light body was picked up and placed on the soft bed. The man took the letterhead again and carefully wrote down a piece of paper, a speech for the freshman representative. Believe it or not, you can get the wrong little bell. Turn your speech into a confession. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 379. Chapter 379. The speech turns into a confession. On the day of the opening ceremony, Yewei was late, so he stuffed all the speeches on the table into his school bag. Yezikin's car was waiting outside. After Yewei got in, Yezikin handed her the bread and milk. Thank you, brother Chan. Just saying, my brother still loves me very much. Next time you play games until midnight, just walk to school by yourself. I swear there will be no next time. While there was still some distance from the school gate, Yewei asked to get off the car and walked over by himself. Yezikin snorted coldly, why, are you embarrassed to be walking with me? No, that's not the case. There was quite a big fuss over the province's first prize. If I go to campus with a big shot like you again, I'll probably have to enjoy the same treatment as before at Xinjiao College. Xinjiao Academy. Yezikin remembered that when his halo enveloped her, it was not a good memory. He opened the car door without hesitation and said to Ye Weiwei, "Get out." Ye Weiwei waved to him, "Goodbye, brother." Ye Weiwei took out the manuscript when she walked into the school. According to the distribution of classes on the playground, she found the first and third classes. She didn't know those strange classmates. But when she walked over, the students all focused on her. Ye Weiwei kept a decent expression and pretended to be calm, and finally saw the class teacher. "I'm sorry, Teacher Lin, I'm too late." "It's okay, it's not too late. Where is your speech?" "Wait." Ye Weiwei hurriedly opened his school bag and took out the speech script inside. "This is the speech script. You can take it yourself. I believe you and Su Yuchen don't need to read the speech." "Okay, thank you teacher. Let's go." Su Yuchen has already gone to the national flag stand to wait. The head teacher, Teacher Lin, took her away, and everyone in the class was curious about her. "Is that girl from our class or a senior?" "I'm from our class." The chubby girl raised her hand. It was Luo Yuxi, a fat girl. The girl didn't dislike her physique at first glance, so she asked, "How do you know her?" "She came to the dormitory when I signed up the day before yesterday." It seems that the new classmates are doing well, and they are remembered by the teacher so quickly. Some people speak sourly. Luo Yuxi was not familiar with Ye Wei after all, so she couldn't say anything for her. Xiaoziun and Leng Rugjiu, who were in the same dormitory, also remained silent. First the host and then the principal repeated the same lines on the stage every year. The students felt drowsy and were not interested in this kind of opening ceremony. Until Yezikin, the Laosheng representative, walked onto the stage, the audience cheered. "I've long heard that there is a super talented and handsome senior in the school, right?" "That's for sure." Yezikin's appearance cheered everyone up because everyone wanted to see how mysterious this legend was. Then the host came on stage again and triggered the legend of the two provincial top picks in S City. Su Yuchen came on first. Everyone in the audience sighed, this year's representatives are so good looking. The last one is Ye Weiwei. When he heard Qiao Lian's name, the others in the dormitory were still in a daze. The only one who walked onto the stage that night, the classmates were all amazed. They didn't expect that the little beauty they just saw was actually this year's super academic. Ye Weiwei calmly faced everyone on the stage, said hello politely, and then began his speech. She trusted Yezikin's speech. She took it out and read a page. When she turned back, she was dumbfounded. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 380. Chapter 380. Are you a couple? Ye Weiwei flipped back the speech notes, and accidentally one of them fell down to the audience. The senior who was closer to the audience picked up the fallen speech and saw it. "Yezikin, I like you, your eyes are beautiful, like black gems, and your nose." Senior sister was immediately dumbfounded. She is just the disciplinary department that maintains order. I don't know what to do if I find a love letter. Ye Weiwei, who was standing on the stage, was sweating. She had clearly flipped through her speech just now, so why didn't she clean it out? The words a person writes when he is drowsy are either ghostly symbols that no one recognizes, or they are the things that are most on his mind. And Yezikin was next to her at that time, so she drowsily wrote a lot of words about Yezikin, and they all expressed her love. Ye Weiwei's speech suddenly stopped, and the head teacher frowned, fearing that she would miss the mark at the critical moment. Ahem. There were a few light coughs next to him, and Ye Weiwei forced himself to turn his eyes back to the speech. An excellent speech made everyone forget these little episodes. At this moment, Su Yuchen's face was ashen. Originally, when he saw Ye Wei's speech manuscript falling down, he took the lead and walked over to the senior sister to ask for it, just to show off. Yezikin was also there at that time, but Yezikin came from the other side, and Su Yuchen arrived first. Yezikin did not read the content. He whispered a few words to the senior who picked up the speech and left directly. Suyuchin sighed when he got the speech. When he lowered his head and looked at it, his face turned dark instantly. It turned out to be a confession of love for Yezikin. It's better not to watch it. Ye Weiwei was anxious to find the speech script after he got off the stage. Suyuchin said with a straight face and was very unhappy, throw away the useless speech script. Ye Wei naturally knew what was on it, so he could only smile awkwardly and didn't mention it again. After the opening ceremony, everyone returned to their classes. The whole class was very curious about Suyuchin and Ye Weiwei. Some people even asked, "Are you a couple?" Ye Weiwei quickly denied, "No, no, we don't have anything to do with it." "Suyuchin, we are classmates." "Classmate, you must be a familiar classmate, right?" Ye Weiwei quickly denied, "No, no, we didn't communicate much." "Suyuchin, I don't play much, I just talk about topics all the time." "Classmate, a top student is a top student. You both refused to be recommended and still got the highest score to get admitted to this school. Is this an agreement?" Ye Weiwei quickly denied it, "No, no, no, that's really a coincidence." "Suyuchin, this is probably fate." Ye Weiwei clenched his fists at that time, stared at Suyuchin, and secretly gritted his teeth, "Can you please not dismantle her?" Ever since Da Ye's identity as the only provincial champion was exposed, people would look at him twice wherever he went. Luo Yuxi has transformed into a little fangirl and likes her very much. On the first day of school, various clubs began to recruit people. The school requires everyone to join a club, at least one. Luo Yuxi pulled her excitedly, "Xiaoling, let's go sign up for the club." Yezi doesn't matter, Luo Yuxi likes two-dimensional animation and dance. When the two of them arrived at the dance club, the eyes of the seniors shone when they saw Ye Weiwei, and they directly put pen and paper into her hands. "Senior sister, join us." Ye Weiwei smiled and handed the pen and paper to Luo Yuxi. Just when Luo Yuxi was about to sign up, the senior suddenly grabbed the pen and paper. "Hey, isn't it Sister Xiaoling who signed up?" "Thinking of it, it is summer to win the 666th floor of the reward building. Please poke on Kixi to receive 999 book currency in the book Yukin." End of this chapter.